Dolphins. The Dolphins have been very clear that Jalen Ramsey is likely to not be on their team this year. They have been talking trade with various teams. I think there's a belief that Jalen Ramsey will get traded. When and to whom remain questions. The acquiring team likely would have to pick up at least some of the $20 million Ramsey has coming his way this season, which is a complicating factor, as could be the Packers' release today of cornerback Jaire Alexander, who's a younger and now cheaper option than Jalen Ramsey. Maybe interested teams could look that way.
No draft picks.
Instead. Alexander still just 28 years old, but he's missed at least 10 games due to injury in 3 of the past 4 seasons. The Packers just decided that they just haven't been able to count on him being available to them, so they move on at cornerback post Jaire Alexander.
I mean, to that end, Jaire Alexander has seen a significant dip in production, but he's also struggled to stay on the field, playing in 14 of 34 games over those last 2 seasons. Cross-referencing that. It's a stark contrast to his first 5 seasons in the league, where he was a top 3 defender in terms of pass breakups. The last 2 seasons, though, he ranks 126.
He looked good against us in the playoffs.
The Packers have now made it official, releasing Jaire Alexander after 7 seasons in Green Bay, posting a thank you, Jaire, to him on
Thank you, and don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
Impact for a team out there. I realize health, age, I don't know, maybe it all matters here, but he's only 29.
I think people hear the name Jaire Alexander, Laura, and they go, all right, let me Google how much cap space my team has left right now. Can I go out there and afford this former All-Pro player at a really important position? Then you kind of look under the hood a little bit and you ask yourself, what kind of player is Jaire Alexander viewed as around the NFL now in the open
What is
market?
he now?
You guys mentioned the 14 games over the past 2 seasons, which means 20 missed. Go 2 more years back. 34 of the past 68 games. He's just as likely as he is unlikely to be on the field. On top of that, last year was a very bizarre injury situation. Matt LaFleur seemed like he was beaten down by answering the same questions over and over again. It seemed like Jaire was getting closer and closer to returning, and then, boom, no Jaire Alexander comes Sunday. I think the market, when he does sign, there will be one, and he could sign very quickly. I think you hear the name Jaire Alexander and you expect, again, how much is it going to take? Might be a lot more modest than people currently are forecasting for a player that just a couple of years ago or 3 years ago looked like one of the game's best defensive players.
Yeah, listen, there's no question that he can play. He's just not available. And we know your best ability is your availability, and that's the case with Jaire Alexander, missing all these games with the Green Bay Packers. If you can't depend on a player, then obviously you got to move on from the guy. So, listen, the guy, no question about it, is still a reputable cornerback. He can still go out there and make plays, but he has to somehow, some way overcome this injury bug that's plagued him over the past, 3 or 4 seasons with him?
Yeah, I mean, Mina, Field reference.
Slow your roll a little bit there, Dirty. Slow your roll a little bit.
Jaire than we would expect, but are there some teams?
Jimbo and Drew are okay right now, man. Slow your roll.
Especially because I'm agreeing with Field. I think it will be a modest contract. I think Jaire Alexander, by the way, should see this as an opportunity to rebuild his own value.
There you go.
1-year prove-it type deal. Remind the NFL what he's capable of on a playoff team. And it's the playoff teams that I'm eyeing.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
Maybe not even a starting cornerback depth, but in some cases, I think if he's healthy, he should certainly be a starting cornerback. I'll point to the Los Angeles Rams. The Baltimore Ravens come to mind. In the NFC North, the Minnesota Vikings, I think, could also. I thought they might add another corner, and they didn't this year. All 3 of those teams, Laura, are legitimate contenders, and all 3, I think, would benefit from the presence of Alexander.
I like those.
You know what's interesting right now for Jaire?
They didn't name the Cowboys or the Eagles?
Extended by the Packers. There are certain guys who, they either reach this stage of their career or when they get there multiple times throughout their career, are actually at their best when they're playing for something bigger, right? Yeah. So, again, I think the number is going to surprise people when they hear Jaire Alexander. Maybe it's a $4 or $5 million base value for Alexander. Maybe it's a 1-year deal like Mina said. But now he understands, I'm not on this contract that pays you $20 million per year like he just was with Green Bay. If I don't play well this year, then how many more bites of the apple am I going to get significantly? So the 1-year deal probably stings a little bit right now. Probably wanted to stay in Green Bay on a restructured contract, but it gives him an opportunity, as Mina laid out, to potentially, a year from now, feel and look a lot more like Jaire Alexander in March than he was this past
season. There you go.
So much time. And the other thing, too, is the chance to maybe win a Super Bowl. I mean, some of the teams that Mina named
Super Bowl.
right in contention to do so, we would think, at least at the first-round pick, Malachi Starr spoke to the media today.
All right, good evening, good people and Eagle fans. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know. Loyal Cowboys in the house. Jimbo's in the house. Miss Gibson's in the house. What's up, Kiana? Of course, we got Lady Libra double dipping for us. Thank you. I appreciate you, Lady Libra, on both channels there. We've got, did I see lovely Linda in the house? Let's see, Lady Libra. Let's see, Kiana Gibson. We got Drew. We got Holly Pierce. What's up, Holly? Welcome, everybody. It is Isaac's in the house. Jeff Lee's looking for boobies and biggins. My name is Jeff. Oh, he's given up the number one spot. Oh, my goodness. We got JD 1965. How are you doing? Drew, what's going on? Isaac, Drew with his hating ass is in here. Let's see. All right, welcome, everybody. Everybody, have you noticed the clock down here? Right here. 86 days, 23 hours, 12 minutes, and 25 seconds till kickoff against those dirty birds. Oh, my God. I can't believe it. Salute to you too, Drew. Keep it on board, man. Keep it on board. We have interesting situation. Jaire Alexander, and according to my man Game Time Brian, that the Eagles are interested in him as well. Great, got off that day job early today. Good job. I'm glad to hear you got off early. That's great to hear. Jaire Alexander, this is an interesting one. See, there's a lot of times there's name players. Okay, you hear a name, you say, "Oh my God, Jaire Alexander," because, remember, I remember actually before we played Green Bay in the playoffs that Jaire Alexander had been hurt. He had been hurt, and it looked like he wasn't going to play, but damn it, he did. And he shut down CeeDee Lamb. And in your mind, you're thinking about that guy. Oh, he shut down CeeDee Lamb to the point where CeeDee Lamb literally just kind of shut down. But when you hear about he's missed 20 games the last 2 years, and this is after last year, the Packers signed him to a 4-year, $81 million contract. That's a lot. Now, here's what's funny to me. Okay? I didn't say interesting. I said funny. People are killing Trayvon Diggs because he's injured, The Cowboys are talking about, he hasn't worked hard enough to get back out on the field, right? He didn't come in for voluntary OTAs. He's been working out with his own. He hasn't been doing what they wanted him to do. And we have killed him. Chris May's in first place right now. So we kill Diggs for being injured and his workout habits. But we're screaming, go get that guy. And we're really looking at the same situation. Now, that being said, we do need some help till some more troops get in. And if Jaire could start healthy at a reasonable price, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. They're talking about $4 or $5 million, prove it type deal. To me, that could be worthwhile. Damn, I got to get used to these glasses. They're still kind of funky. You never know. Now, they did talk about playoffs and Super Bowls. He may look at that and say, nah, bro, I don't want to be there. But then again, he may look at it and say, here's an opportunity to fix my brand. Jaire's a top 5 corner. Dallas needs him. If he's healthy, Drew, he's at the point of being Tyron Smith now where he stays injured. Now, he's only 28 years old. So versus if you're looking at Jalen Ramsey is 30, and you're going to have to pay more money because you're going to have to trade for him. So, you could pay Jalen Ramsey $15 million this year. Maybe you pay Jaire Alexander on a 1-year deal. Shout out to Jimbo. Hit the like. Wait a minute. You're doing emojis like Philadelphia, Jimbo, but for the channel? Oh, my God. What's wrong with you, Eagle fans? Sugar Daddy, Chris May, what's going on? Jeff Lee, let's go Cowboys for life. I pass. You pass. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. But we do need some help. Now, there is still Stephon Gilmore, who is 7 years older, but Stephon Gilmore is healthy. And again, for the right price, I could be convinced because the onus is on him that if he doesn't perform this year, he's not getting another payday. He's just not. And if you look at what the Cowboys have done, they've gone through, they've got younger players, and they put them on 1-year deals to prove it. That either they'll be great, and you say, I can't live without that guy, or they'll be great, and they do live without him, but they get a comp pick, or they're sorry, and they won't leave any dead money. So from that standpoint, it could be a win-win. Well, high reward, no risk. Glimmerman, howdy. Loyal barbecue chicken brand is the only solid corner starting week 1. Oh, barbecue chicken. I see you there, Drew. Okay. Bobby Beniski. Dallas is too cheap. Well, there's something to that, Bobby. You're definitely something that there is to that. And we'll get to the cheapness there. Now, here's another one that although we seem to have taken care of the position that we do actually look at linebacker right now instead of the cupboard being bare like it usually is, you could actually look and say we've got a lot of players there right now. But I may have to go ahead and take a look at Jerome, God, I'm having a brain fart. Jerome Pratt. Oh, my God. Let me do this. Jerome Pratt. I tell you what. Jerome Pratt is...
Herbert, check that.
Hold up. Let me get this for you. Jerome Pratt, and let me turn the sound off on it before I get copywritten. Jerome Pratt reminds me a lot of Demario Davis. Demario is a guy who plays downhill. Demario, who sat right here, and I said, Cowboys, you need to sign this guy, did not miss a single game since 2018 with the New Orleans Saints. And you want a guy who can stop the run? Bro, Jermaine Pratt is a guy who can do that. Let's play the highlights here while we talk about it. He is 6'3", about 249 pounds. He plays downhill. He is a stud. He's only 28 years old. He had signed, I want to say, it was a 3-year, $21 million deal with the Bengals. The Bengals basically let him go. Look at this. Bam! He's coming in with force, man. Look, forced fumble. The Bengals are doing cost savings. They signed Jamar Chase and their other wide receiver and things, and they've got to save some money here and there. And this is one of those places that they're looking to say, yeah, he is a run stopper. He is a guy, he is a thumper. And by thumper, I mean he's a middle linebacker who can take on the guards, and he can shed that block, and he can continue going upfield, and he will hit you. Look at it. Look at the hands. He had 143 tackles last year and 2 interceptions and a forced fumble. So we're not talking about chopped liver. I'm good. Nothing with the gilly is washed too. Well, Gilly would be I tell you what, Gilly would be a good insurance policy. He'd be cheap, and he's definitely as good, if not better, than most of the guys on the roster. Who's making the next big splash? Bobby Beniski? I don't know who's going to make the next big splash. But there's some guys out there that can definitely help your team. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Bam. Knocking it out of there. Knocking it. So that's a guy, type of guy that we could help. Now, you're probably saying, yeah, but we don't have money for that. Well, since he's been cut, and since free agency, the big money is gone, there is a guy we could release and free up almost $4 million and have him replace him, and he would instantly be a lot better. Damone Clark, if he's released, would free up about $3.9 million. And you could bring in that guy right there, that guy, for a couple more million on top of it. Boom. Look at the closing speed. We need a thumper all-world linebacker. There you go. He's got Walker Wade's, shout out to Walker Wade. He's got Walker Wade's seal of approval. That's a thumper. That's a run stopper. That's a playmaker. That's a guy that plays downhill. We have linebackers, Drew. Pay attention. Murray. Yeah, we do. We do. But we also have Damone Clark, and you can get rid of Damone Clark and bring this guy in. Look at that. Boom. Come on, man. Okay. That's my thought. Either way, there are guys out there who can help your roster and help your team. And hopefully the Dallas Cowboys will be looking at some of these guys, because you see right now, teams are jockeying for position. Teams are making moves. Jalen Ramsey is on the trade block. And it behooves everybody to make those moves now after June 1st, because the hits that they can take it over 2 years. And so that's where there may be some guys out there. Hopefully the Cowboys are holding out for that defensive tackle, that nose tackle, that cornerback, that they bring in a couple of guys. For the most part, I think the Cowboys have done an exceptional job of getting talent on the roster and getting this team together and trying to change the culture. Now, will all this stuff go to gel together and we'll have like a Washington Commanders turnaround where we can make a run? Who knows? Who knows? It's Sugar Daddy Williams. What's up, bro? Sugar, Jaire, and Quentin, no fly zone. Dak will throw for less than 150. Okay. Drew, you know, I don't think the Eagles have ever held Dak down to 150 yards, but you keep the faith, bro. Keep the faith. Holly, don't threaten me with a good time. Derek Young, I'm good, Alan. How are you doing, my man? All right, so we do have a Trayvon Diggs sighting. I'm happy to report that Diggs was in the building there working out with Micah Parsons. Dallas needs to sign Micah. Don't get excited. They'll get okay. Do you actually believe, Bobby, that the Cowboys are not going to get Micah signed? Do you really honestly believe that the Cowboys are going to say, you know what, that's it, we're done. We're not going to pay that guy. We're not going to pay that guy, right? You think that's going to happen? Come on, man. We all know that the Cowboys talk the talk, but can't walk the walk. They always play the hard line that, you know, we're not going to pay a whole lot and everything else. You know, we're going to the car dealership. We're not going to get ripped off. And yet they come out, they've paid for the undercoating, right? They've got the extended warranty, the full extended warranty on it, okay? They got the rims and the rim protectors. They got everything because they get hosed. That's just the way it is. Should get done waiting for headlines. Bobby, they will sign him, and you guys will be scared as F. Well, I don't know how scary Micah Parsons actually is. After the calling teammates to tell them good night.
Hello?
Yo,
Yo, what's going on, fam?
no, I just wanted to say goodnight, bro.
What you are, bro? I know you lying, bro.
Nah, bro, I love you, my nigga.
I love you, man.
I
Love
want to
you
say,
too, bro.
yeah, I wanted to say
I
goodnight.
appreciate it, bro.
Yeah,
It's good for my mental, bro. This is what I needed, man.
bro, that's the part that
Bobby
I
B.
just feel like recently nobody check up on us no more.
Nah, fact, bro. Like, the reassurance, bro, just that somebody is always there for you and valuable, bro. Shit.
Hey, I love that, bro. For real.
Man, this made my night, bro.
Just made my night.
That's special.
Lovely Linda in the place.
What's up, bro?
I just called to say goodnight, bro.
You on your TikTok shit?
You on that TikTok shit.
Damn, bro, I just love you so much, and I just
love you so much, man.
I love you too, bro.
Yeah, good night, man. Sleep well. Kiss the babies.
You too. You
Yo, bro.
was good.
You sound like you was asleep.
Good night.
I heard that.
Yeah,
I seen the video.
I love you, bro. I
seen
love
the
you.
videos, bro.
Hey, good night, bro.
Hey, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
This shit was
Man,
crazy.
you have a good night as well. You coming to dinner on Monday?
Yeah, seriously.
That's it.
Kayvon Turpin.
Yo, bro, I just called to say good night, bro.
Man, you funny as fuck, son.
It's stupid.
That's all, bro. Good night, bro. Sleep well.
Hey, have a good night, my dog.
Have a good night, my dog.
What up, buddy?
What up, coach?
What you doing, man? You alright?
Yeah, I just
You all right? You're not in trouble, are you?
Okay. I love that, bro. What's going on? Y'all good?
hell yeah. You know what I mean? I just feel like, as player to coach, just checking in on you, mental, say good night, hope fans well. See you Monday. Excited about next week. Just a good night.
See you Monday.
We're good, man. Hey, look, I know this is weird for everybody, man, but look, you're handling everything the right way, bro. And this thing's gonna get worked out. And again, I'm thrilled to see where we take this thing, man. We're building something special, and you're gonna be a huge part of it, bro.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Shotty. Take a shotty from me when you get a chance, man.
Hey, I'm drinking a shotty right now. Get ready to hit it and turn it for the night, brother.
I'm drinking a shotty right now.
Hey, I appreciate the call, man, for real. And I look forward to seeing you Monday, and it's going to be a great week.
Hell yeah. See you soon, coach.
All right, brother. Appreciate you, man. Later.
All right. So, thoughts. Is this a prank? Is this genuine? I'm going to say you actually got a lot of information on here. You end up getting Osa saying, are you going to be there for dinner on Monday? He's like, yeah, I'm going to be there because that's what the Cowboys do tonight. They got the physicals out the way. They end up having dinner tonight, practice tomorrow. Nah, Chris, that was Mark. Dak tucked Mark to bed and read him green egg. Hey, Drew, read between the lines, bro. Read between the lines, okay? If Micah doesn't hold out, he's a fool. Well, he's a fool that's going to have $24 million. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's got $24 million guaranteed for this year. I don't know if he's a fool or not. Maybe trying a different approach. What's up, Logan Motorsports? What do you think about acquiring Jaire Alexander? I've heard, Linda, I tell you what, I've heard that the Eagles are definitely interested. I don't know if the Cowboys are or not, but, of course, everybody links anybody to the Cowboys. I kid, Mark. Yeah, I'm kidding too right there. Read between the lines, man. Read between the lines, okay? Damn. You Eagle mother humpers. Looked like he signed it to me. Looks like he signed what? What did he sign? Anyway, Micah will get done. It's just a matter of when. Are the Cowboys, do they have a wink deal with him that we're going to go ahead and get, Micah, look, this is just business, man. We're trying to create some extra, buzz about the team and everything else. So we need to do this. If you're a player, whether you're Dak, CD, Zeke, D-Law, you know that all you got to do is just be patient. The Cowboys will cave, and that's the problem for the Cowboys, is they always cave. What I honestly would like to see happen, and instead of, let me see if I can put it the right way. Here's what happens. Roger Goodell, everybody says, Roger Goodell, man, he's a bad commissioner, right? Everybody hates Roger Goodell. You talk to the owners like, well, you got to talk to the commissioner, man. That he takes the bullets for the owners. He does exactly what the owners want. Do you think that Roger Goodell goes rogue without having permission from the owners to do something? His job is make money and take the bullets and keep the flack off the owners. And that's what the Cowboys need as far as a guy to do the contracts and understand the cap. Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones have fucked it up. Excuse me, Dad. I'm sorry, Dad. Have effed it up for too long. And we have wasted too much money because they have. We could have done Micah last year, bro, for 35. He'd be sitting here pretty, wouldn't be worried about his contract, and we would have saved some money in the long run. We should be working on Tyler Smith right now. We should be working on Deron Bland if you believe on him. But we'll wait and we'll waste more money. And the thing about it is even if they had gotten it done at the end of the season and got it for 35, 36, $5 million is another good player. We're talking about Jaire Alexander, maybe $4 or $5 million. You could have gotten Micah done earlier and had money to get Jaire Alexander. And that's what we're talking about. To the Eagles' credit, they understand. Get these guys taken care of. They paid their center after year 3. Didn't waste any time in the offseason. Got that shit done. Got him into the fold. And now they don't have to worry about it. Jaire would have signed for the right price. Well, yeah, that's going to be the question. But the question is, how much can you rely on him? That's the big question. He's missed a whole lot of time. He's always hurt, though. I agree. He is. But do we necessarily need somebody who has to play the whole season? Hopefully we get Diggs back. Hopefully we get Savon Ravel out there. And if you can have him part of the time, and he's cheap, and he can leave after 1 year, a prove-it deal, it's really no real risk. 10 to 12 million for 1 year would work. Shoo! He ain't getting 10 to 12 million for a year. No way. He's not getting that much. Not going to happen. Nobody's going to pay him 10 to 12 million dollars with the injuries that he's got right now. But by all means, go right ahead, Eagles. You go right ahead and spend that kind of money on him. 10 to 12 million on a 1 year deal? Nah, bro, that's too much. Way too much. I saw something that was really eye-catching and not in a good way. And this goes to show everybody goes through. Oh, Drew, I'm not going to disagree with that. I don't know if it's Jaire Alexander. I don't know if it's Jalen Ramsey. I don't know if it's Stephon Gilmore. I don't know if it's somebody who hasn't been released yet. But you can best believe we definitely need somebody else in the secondary right now, especially for week 1. And we definitely, Derek Young, you're 100% right. We definitely need defensive line help, a run stuffer. And I wouldn't mind. I'm telling you, I still wouldn't mind getting Jerome Pratt. Micah should just focus on his podcasting. Okay. Mark, you crazy. I bet 12 shot glasses that he gets at least 10 million. 12 shot glasses. Well, I got boxes of them, so me betting, no problem. I'll bet shot glasses, 12 of them. That he gets at least 10 million. Slay is getting 10 million. Evening, but again, it's a guy who just got. Do you think the Packers would release him after signing him to an $81 million a year? $81 million 4-year deal after 1 year, if they thought he had anything to tank? Getting blazed and phased. Okay, all right. So, to me, there is a direct correlation between being able to run the football and being successful. We sucked ass, especially last year. And it's actually worse than I thought. I remember through about the first 8 games when Dak was there, how bad we were running the football. Because I remember going back through every single Dallas Cowboys team, including the 1960 team. He's better when he's healthy, but he hasn't been healthy for like 3 years, bro. 3 years. 3 years, man. He's missed 20 games the last 2 years, Drew. 20 games. He's played 14 and missed 20. That's a lot. Yay. So, when I was going through early, we were, for the first 8 games, historically the worst running offense that the Cowboys had ever had in their history. We were that anemic. We were averaging like 71 yards a game on the ground. If you remember when we had Emmitt Smith, when Emmitt rushed for over 100 yards, I want to say we were 54-17. It was literally that crucial. When we didn't rush for, Emmitt Smith didn't rush for 100 yards, I think we were 14-14. The numbers speak for themselves. Last year, God. This is with Rico even turning. Dak's still under development after 9 years. You can believe that if you want to there, Bobby. But I appreciate the super chat, Bobby B. This is how bad our running game was last year. Our 1,705 yards, with Rico actually running well the second half of the season, we were 27th in running the football. 27th. There were 26 teams that ran the ball better than we were. Let's go. And, oh, shit. I lost it. I can tell you. In runs over 20 yards, I think, our longest run of the season was 27 yards. 27 yards. 31 teams had a longer run than that. And what was the other stat? 6 rushing touchdowns. The least in the NFL. We were literally the worst in pretty much every running the football category. And, bro, that ain't good for the quarterback. That ain't good for the offense. And now you understand why Shadi is talking about trying to be able to run the football. and making it a keynote thing. We will run the football. We'll be balanced, and we'll be better with it. You're just going to have to. If you don't, you can cancel Christmas. Whenever, man, I believe in my team, been a fan probably longer than you've been alive. Victor, I turned 60. I don't know, Victor, if you're talking to me, I'm almost 60 here, bro. But okay, Rico had the most meaningless 1,000 yards ever. I can agree with you on that one. But that's about where the Cowboys have been, floating around with a 1,000-yard back every year with Zeke or Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard the year before didn't really raise any cane. He averaged 4.1 yards a carry. So it's been a problem for the last couple of years. And I agree that, Chubb might not have been a bad situation there, Drew. And he's past his physical, so evidently he's healthy. I agree. Nick Chubb might have been an upgrade. But the Cowboys looked at it and said, well, we got Miles Sanders, we got Javonte Williams, we drafted Jaden Blue, that we're looking at this and we're saying, we're okay here. And I can understand that one. If they're going to go out and get a defensive tackle and get some extra help in the secondary, that, maybe they don't want to, overload one position and then not take care of the others. Unfortunately, you can't get everybody. Can't get everybody. Now, this is Albert Beer with Rich Eisen talking about how difficult it's going to be to get Micah. I think it's a little bit of bluster up there. I think it's going to get done. I hope, my thoughts and hopes are that since we've got mini camp, we got 4 days, where Micah's there, that they're going to grab each other, get together, call David Magenta, and finally hammer this thing down.
Harry and the organization is really strong.
Right.
And they've hit some bumps. There's no question talks are not in a great place right now. But he is so important to what Dan Quinn and Adam Peters were able to accomplish in year one. And here's the reality of it. You know this as well as I do, Rich. Like, the way the rules are and have been since 2011 make it really hard to stage a holdout or any kind of wildcat strike in the summer. It's costly, right? So if you're going to make your point, spring is generally the time to do it, especially if you're a guy like this. So I have to think that cooler heads are going to prevail in the case of Terry. I think the other two are really unpredictable. Like, I think Micah, after what happened last year with Dak and CD, and the market having changed with, I think the average per year now has to start with a 4 because of what Myles Garrett got. I think that one could wind up being pretty bumpy. There's even been like the back and forth between the agent David Mulugeta and the owner Jerry Jones. So I think that one
is that because Jerry needed maybe somebody to send him the contact card for his phone.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how much offense David took to that, but I think it certainly got his attention.
You think? It's not his first rodeo, man.
It's one of the more prominent agents in the NFL, if not the most prominent agent in the NFL right now. So I don't know how that was all digested. I think it added a really interesting twist to the whole thing. And I do think like Micah. And I don't think Micah's going to do for something for less than 41, 42, 43, whatever the number is, Jeez. And does he ask for a big jump? Like, remember, he had to wait an extra year too. Like, they could have done this last year. He was eligible last year. So generally a tax comes with waiting the extra year. The Trey thing is, I think even less predictable because this is a 3 offseason thing now, right? And 2 years ago, they do the 1-year extension, which is a Band-Aid. Last year, they get nothing accomplished. And now they're here. And look, like, I think the Bengals would be well within their rights to say, well, we can't do like a Nick Bosa or a Myles Garrett. Those were like market movers, right? Like Nick Bosa moved the market. Myles Garrett moved the market. we can't do like a market moving deal.
Because you're the Bengals.
That said, all right, you have Max Crosby in the mid-30s now, and you have Daniil Hunter in the mid-30s. And I don't know how you tell a guy who had 35 sacks the last 2 years that he doesn't belong at least there. Then you have the element of the structure, which Joe Burrow, the Bengals made exceptions to their contractual rules to do Joe Burrow's deal. Then they made similar exceptions for Jamar Chase, but not T. Higgins. So how does Trey Hendrickson fit into that? So if you see what I'm saying, like this is all really complicated. So that part of it, then you have the Joe Burrow like pressure element, like Burrow really wants these guys in. Like, so how does that affect everything?
All right. We can get rid of that one. But, yeah, Micah will get his money. It's just a matter of when. I didn't realize, I just saw it come across here. Good Lord. Nick Chubb signed for $2.5 million. $2.5 million. Are you kidding me? With the incentives that take it up to $5 million. Holy shit. That's insane. $2.5 million. I'm speechless on that one. Yeah. I'm telling you, Jaire Alexander, he's not getting $10 million. He's not getting 10. I'm telling you. This is not early free agency. He's got the injury history. I'm surprised they didn't check in on Chubb. Yeah, well, I think the Cowboys still looked at it and said, we've already made all these other moves. We're in a better situation at running back because our running back room will be better because of the offensive line. Now, here's where mini camp, good old, I don't see Momo in here right now, but Momo was going on yesterday about how mini camp and OTAs, that they don't mean anything, that they're just a waste of time because they're not really working. And I have to beg to differ, because what you're doing right now is, and I'm happy that the team is mostly together right now. They're going to tweak it. They're going to add some more pieces here and there. But this is evaluation time to really see what you've got. What guys have been really working and busting their ass to get better. Where you're going to look and see, okay, before training camp, we see, these running backs can't hunt. We got to go ahead and find one of these guys. Or even, the free agents you brought in maybe makes a guy that you have look expendable, that you can look and say, we can get rid of this big contract. And so we do have a lot of guys that we've brought in, and they're still in the evaluation process. It may end up being that Miles Sanders, he's not spent. Miles Sanders may have been that it was just on a bad Carolina Panther team. And the Cowboys, with Dak Prescott being able to sling the rock, with having George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb being able to stretch the field, and now getting an earth mover and Tyler Booker, that you're going to be able to open up some holes, and that Miles Sanders will still have enough in the gas tank, where he's not having to carry the full load, that he can do the job. Trayvon Diggs might get 12 interceptions. Not this year, he's not, because Diggs is not going to be back till probably about the middle of the season. If he comes in the middle of the season and gets 12 interceptions, okay, that would be miraculous. Eagles made Miles Sanders. Well, his only good years were with the Eagles. His 2 years with Carolina with that $25 million contract did not work out at all. Defense is one of our biggest weaknesses for Dallas, bro. Corners trash, defensive tackle trash. That's a problem. Yeah, I hear you, Drew, but our offense is going to be able to score some points there. And don't be overconfident. We won't have a workhorse back. Deal with it. Victor Diggs and Blanche are one of our 1 year wonders. Diggs had 2 good years. Diggs had the first year where he had the 11 interceptions, and the second year was when he actually was able to really shut people down. Bobby B. Dallas has enough projects and rejects to win 8 to 9. Really? Only 8 to 9? When they won 7 last year with everybody hurt? Okay. Miles Sanders with the Cowboys now. We'll see what he will do, what he did with Dallas, Mark. Chris May is still in the lead. Dak is throwing a pick 6 to Dijon. Okay. All right, Chad. Diggs is a beast. People say the same thing about his brother, too. His brother is kind of wild there. 3-1 hits. Okay. Well, I tell you, things that I'm looking forward to with training camp, with mini camp. I really want to see, and you're not in pads or anything, but it is a little bit more live, is to see how Tyler Guyton moves. Tyler Guyton and Terrence Steele are going to be whether the team is going to be decent or not. Those two guys have got to play better than they did last year, without a doubt. If they do, I think Tyler Booker is going to end up being a stud coming out the box, playing on the right side. He will be a road grader. I think Cooper Beebe is going to be able to take another big step next year. We have Dallas at 7 to 9 wins this year, not trolling. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Drew. I'll take a bet on that one, too. I'll take a bet on that one, Drew. Miles Sanders will have over 100 yards on Eagles opening night. You know, he may definitely be motivated on that one. 14-3, 6-0 in the – okay. Victor, I'm not quite there with you on that one, bro. If the Cowboys are healthy, they're a playoff team. That's simple as that. Whoever thinks otherwise has never snapped on a helmet in their lives. Drew, I really hope we improve so much we fire your birds. Yeah, Sugar Daddy, he's definitely working with Tyron Smith. And when you looked at, first of all, when you looked at Tyron Smith looks like he's actually dropped weight. And you look at Tyler Guyton, and Tyler Guyton, you did not see any fat on him at all. He has basically re-sculpted his body. He looks totally different than he did last year. Cooper DeJean, okay, I don't care about Cooper DeJean. Philly will have a Super Bowl hangover. Washington will fall off too. I'm hoping you're right on both of those. Chris May still in first place. Jaire would work out for me, Mark. Jaire or Stephon Gilmore, either of those guys, cheap, no draft capital. We will get 3 rings this year. You mean you'll get your 3rd ring this year? No, I don't think so. Mark, you know damn well Jerry isn't spending any more money. I don't know. I think if the right player came along, they might. And Drew, let's back this up. What are we betting on that, bro? What's the bet? See, here's where I look at it, Drew, differently. The Commanders lost to Cooper Rush and came close to losing to them again. When you say 7 games, 7 to 9 games only, you've added, if Dak stays healthy, then I know that's a big if, but that's true on anybody. Dak alone is going to make that team better. Our running game has got nowhere to go but up. We were one of the worst running teams in football. Our defense, for 2 games early in the season, couldn't even force a punt. Okay? They've got to be better than that. And with that, we still won 7 games. You're telling me we can't squeak out 3 more games? Come on, bro. The big move is Pickens. That's it. You also got Dante Fowler. That's actually a pretty good move, too. On any other team, if you brought in a guy who had 10.5 sacks, they would be praising them about how good a player that is. All right, Chad. We'll see, Chad. Mark Homer, Commanders have the black Pat Mahomes and Jaden Daniels. Give it more than 1 year before you start calling him Pat Mahomes. One rule approved, but Dak is washed? Okay. All right, Bobby. That defense is Swiss cheese. Dallas fans, we had a great offseason. I think if they get Micah Parsons done, and that's a big if. No, it's not an if. It's a win. If they get Micah Parsons done before training camp, I'm going to say that this is the best offseason that the Cowboys have had since the 90s. I'm being serious on that one. The Cowboys literally have plugged the holes. They may not be the players that, name players that and things like that, but they have done a great job of filling out the roster. They've got players that are hyped up, excited, and they got younger. Flat out. This team went from Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, D-Law, all these guys that were Jason Garrett guys, to now everybody is under 30 with the exception of Dante Fowler's 30 and Dak Prescott's the elder statement at 31. So you've got young, you got guys that are motivated, you got guys that are playing for contracts, and you've got no expectations. The Eagle fans, they've already said, we're winning 7 games. So they're looking past us, and that's where you want to be. You want to be able to sneak up on people. How some of you can say we did worse. It's crazy. Chris, I don't understand how they can look at it and say we got worse. No, Hurts is not a top 5 quarterback. He beat up bad Giants and Washington teams. Mark, look at your schedule, bro. Dallas is not making the playoffs. Dax is 18-24 against teams over 500 and playoff teams. Okay, Drew. All right, Drew, I hear you. I hear what you're saying, bro. I hear what you're saying. We got a bet, right? You guys did too, Drew. Why can't we? History says Super Bowl era really started in Philly, right, in Philly in 2017. Dak's the oldest. Time goes by. Yeah, you want to hear another crazy one is Terrence Steele is now the oldest offensive lineman we have. Dak Prescott owns the Eagles. Drew speaks the truth. I think Dallas did an excellent in the offseason, and I'm one of the biggest Eagle fans on here. But did they do enough for the fans is what you should ask yourself. Linda, I'm going to say you could always do more. But the Cowboys, in comparison to what they've done in the past, this is night and day different. In the past, Osa would be gone. In the past, you're not signing Dante Fowler. In the past, you're not trading for George Pickens. And if you ended up doing all of those moves that the Cowboys typically do, you wouldn't feel very good about this team. You'd look and say, we're going to be ass. And I'm one of the biggest Dallas Cowboy fans out there. That usually is the positive one. The Cowboys have done major work on rebuilding this crap. And this is where I say Stephen Jones has changed his tone on a lot of the things that he says. Right now, when asked about Micah Parsons, if he's going to be there, and he's like, I don't know, you got to talk to Micah on that one. And when being asked about the contract, is it going to get done or where is it and this, that, and the other, it used to be one of those things that would be that, he's got to understand that, you got to leave pie on the table for everybody else, that, being with the Dallas Cowboys, that you get, benefits that you don't get elsewhere because you can get a job, doing podcasts and things. And so, no, he's not doing any of that blustery bullshit. Jerry did enough to reel you guys back in. Well, Bobby, he didn't have to do too much to reel me back in. I'm a diehard. I am a legacy Dallas Cowboy fan. I can't go anywhere else. My dad made me this guy who, for whatever reason, loves the Dallas Cowboys. And now that he's gone, I certainly cannot change that up. I've got to hold the line in memory of my dad. Would someone share with me the trophy that you get for being top 5? If none, then Jalen Hurts can't hear you from the top of the mountain. Ooh, Linda. Coyote Hurts all. Oh, okay, forget it. Oh, Drew, it's without a doubt. I've said that, I hope the Cowboys do really good this year. But again, you've got a new coach, a whole new coaching staff, and a lot of new players and a lot of young players. When you think about the Cowboys back in the 90s, they went from 1-15 and started building a roster, and it took a couple of years before they made it to the playoffs. So, I'm not under the delusion that, because we signed a few players that we're headed to the Super Bowl this year. I'm not ready for that one. Not anywhere close to that. Troy Aikman isn't a Hall of Famer, I guess. Okay. Last I checked, he's got a gold jacket. Win or lose, Drew, we are Cowboy fans. Deal with it. Amen on that. You have a very old GM owner that still wants to be involved. Now his son is doing some of this. You know what, Glenverman? I can't say I remember the last time Jerry Jones spoke. Jerry Jones is definitely more and more in the sidelines. And Stephen Jones is actually taking more of the running the team role. You don't get to be a top 5 because you make it to the Super Bowl. Hurts does less than most quarterbacks. It's okay. You guys still won. It's true. Sorry, 18 TD passes doesn't show me anything. I'm sending you a blindfold for week 1. Damn. Nick Foles has a ring. Is he a top 5 quarterback? That would be a no. He does not. He is not. Mark, that's why I say this is like last year. Dak will put, okay. Bobby, we kicked that ass. Lou, I'm with you. These Eagle fans should still be celebrating. Why are they worried about the Cowboys? They're worried. Why did the Eagles trade C.J. Gardner-Johnson and cut big play Slay Mark? The Eagles secondary might be a weakness this season. That may be, but of course they've got Cooper DeJean is going to be all over the field for him. Jalen Hurts worries about going to and winning Super Bowls. All fans chasing statistics for your quarterback. Be my guest. I want a winner as a quarterback. Well, Linda, he didn't win that Super Bowl on his own. Sorry. You had the best running back in football. You had the best offensive line in football. You had great weapons. You had a great defense. You guys had probably the best roster in football. That's why you won. Aisha Robinson, welcome. Jalen Hurts looks like my index finger. Okay. All right, let's check in on our community race here. It looks like Chris May is a winner again. Chris and Jeff, your shirts went out this morning, as well as Holly Pierce. Got you covered. Thank you very much. Chris, you are the winner again. Jeff Lee at third, Holly in second. As always, I appreciate you guys. And Chris, I got your address. We'll get you something else out. And as always, good people, I'm sorry. I am tired as shit today. But tomorrow will be mini camp. And I can't wait to hear what goes on. Say a prayer that nobody gets hurt. and that we have a great practice, and that maybe, just maybe, they end up getting Micah Parsons' deal done. See y'all later. Peace out.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over.